Home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Two police officers who helped defend the U.S. Capitol from an attack by Trump supporters are suing to block anyone, including 2021 rioters, from receiving payouts from the new $1.8 billion settlement fund for people who claim to be victims of politically motivated prosecution. CBS's Jake Rosen.
What the lawsuit seeks to do is claim that these two men are irreparably harmed by the creation of this fund because it rewards directly those people that assaulted them and other Capitol police officers. These men are going to have to prove that they truly were and are being harmed by the creation and distribution of these funds.
The Justice Department's expected to announce the indictment of Cuba's former leader, Raul Castro, later today. The charges are related to the deadly shoot-down of planes operated by a humanitarian group back in 1996. New York Republican Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis.
But we hope that this will be a turning point in Cuba, that we will see the people of Cuba rise up and demand freedom and regime change once and for all.
A day after the Senate voted to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran, Trump now is delivering the commencement address at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy.
A very big congratulations to the class of 2026 special class.
Now to Southern California, CBS's Tina Patel covering the major wildfire outside L.A.
There was a lot of fire here on the hillsides getting dangerously close to neighborhoods, and that is because there is just so much dry brush out here, and the winds yesterday really shifted the fire, had it move closer to some of these neighborhoods. A lot of people tell us it was very scary, but firefighters have made progress. They now have 15% containment on the fire. They say it's still hovering at just about 1,700 acres that have burned. It did not grow significantly overnight.
Well, CBS's Jim Krasula tells us more about a new concern caused by warming temperatures.
Climate change is pushing starving gray whales in the San Francisco Bay in unusual numbers, where ship strikes killed at least 40% of the 21 whales found dead last year. Melting Arctic sea ice has disrupted their food chain, leaving malnourished whales to linger in the bay, crowded with ferries, cargo ships, and tankers during the animal's 12,000-mile migration.
Well, the beer that made Milwaukee famous, as the label said, is about to be no more.
If you don't have Schlitz, you don't have gusto.
You don't have beer.
Wisconsin Brewing Company is brewing a last batch of Schlitz beer on Saturday. It dates back to 1849. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up more than 480 points. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The Seattle City Council signs off on Mayor Wilson's shelter expansion plan, but first, let's get a check on the roads. It's bumper-to-bumper ride right now from South Center into downtown, from the beginning of Boeing Field past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. 40-minute trip from South Center, an hour from Federal Way. Valley Freeway is about 45 minutes. Rented to Bellevue will take you about 40 minutes right now. Over to the north end, it's an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Seattle. Everett to Bellevue is an hour and 20 minutes. And this traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The Seattle City Council unanimously passed a measure that allows for larger homeless shelters and tiny home villages. Councilmember Dion Foster is the prime sponsor.
I have said this whole time, my underlying goal is to ensure that we pass this interim legislation and we have this first year of expansion in a way that is so successful that we are able to continue this expansion.
The measure approves expanding shelter capacity from 100 beds to 150. It also paves the way for a 250-bed shelter in each city council district. The legislation is part of a series of bills proposed by Mayor Katie Wilson as part of her goal to open 1,000 new shelter beds by the end of this year. The King County Office and the Ombuds says an independent review found nearly $700,000 in questionable costs at youth diversion and anti-racism programs funded by the county. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
The review looked at 19 community partners working under the Department of Community and Human Services and found issues like unsupported cash withdrawals, questionable transactions, improper use of money, and evidence of fraud. King County Council member Reagan Dunn pushed for the audits in 2023 and says the findings confirm his concerns.
I hate when I'm right, but what I care about is making sure that the public's tax dollars are spent wisely, and at a bare minimum, they're not being used to perpetrate fraud. And unfortunately, we have some of that here.
The Ombuds office plans to refer suspected fraud and or forgery to law enforcement. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The man accused of shooting and killing a beloved worker known as Q at a Seattle taproom pleaded not guilty in court Tuesday. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has more.
Friends and family of Kusa Margarsa packed the courtroom to see the man prosecutors say pulled the trigger. The victim's family's heartbroken. Margarsa's older brother told KIRO 7 additional family flew in from around the world to support their mother.
I hope the law takes it in the right way and make sure he's actually guilty, because it sucks. You can't shoot somebody and say you're not guilty.
Lucas Logan turned himself in nearly 72 hours after the murder at the Growler Guys taproom along Lake City Way.
A judge kept his bail at $2 million. His next hearing is June 11th. A 12-year-old girl got a fire engine ride home after a tree climb didn't quite go as planned. South County Fire posted about it on Facebook. Just after 5 Monday evening, crews were called to the Maplewood Cooperative School in Edmonds. The girl had climbed about 20 feet up into a tree and could not get back down. Firefighters from Ladder 114 and Engine 16 extended their ladder and brought her safely to the ground. She was shaken up but not hurt. And as a bonus, she got a ride home in the fire engine. And now to your KIRO News Radio weather. We've got clouds today, not as warm as yesterday. Highs will just be in the low 50s, maybe topping the 60s. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good to be back with all of you. Woo! Happy Wednesday to you. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Another big show for you coming up at 9:30. Jeff Bezos says half of Americans shouldn't pay federal income taxes. The question I have is, does one of America's richest men pay enough himself? And then speaking of money, nearly half of all Americans are now getting financial advice from AI. Is that a smart move, or is this a digital disaster? Our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Let's get to it. Top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Well, as you've been hearing, King County might now bring in law enforcement after a new investigation uncovered possible fraud and abuse involving a bunch of taxpayer-funded contracts. And here's the maddening part, G. Investigators say county employees sometimes spotted the questionable spending, but approved the payments anyway. The county ombuds office found nearly $700,000 in suspicious expenses tied to community groups that were working with the Department of Community and Human Services. And investigators are pointing to cash withdrawals, undocumented stipend payments, and records that actually may have been changed after the fact. And now these findings are being sent to the state auditor and possibly prosecutors. And this department is one that oversees more than $1 billion meant to help vulnerable communities. And critics like King County Councilmember Reagan Dunn say the mission is important, but that can't mean oversight goes out the window. And this is something that he warned about years ago.
I hate when I'm right, but what I care about is making sure that the public's tax dollars are spent wisely, and at a bare minimum, they're not being used to perpetrate fraud. And unfortunately, we have some of that here.
And the department is now disputing some of these findings, G. They're saying that, well, the amount of unresolved questionable spending may be closer to $320,000. But nevertheless, county leaders are demanding even bigger audits now. They're asking for tighter controls into where all that taxpayer money actually went.
Most people don't get the luxury, Ursula, of failing up, right? failing up, meaning this has been talked about. There was warning signs, and by the way, we're going to have King County Councilmember Reagan Dunn here on the show, and there's a specific question that I have to ask him, and I'll say it here in a second. But it's just interesting that Dow Constantine, who was in charge during that time, he gets to fail up, right? He gets, as a matter of fact, I think he makes more money today than what he did then. Now, you or I, or if you're listening right now, if you do your job this damn bad, you already know you can't move on like it's just a normal Tuesday. You would be in trouble. But here's the thing that really stood out to me, and this is what I want to ask Reagan Dunn about. 19 contracts, right? But the auditor, they only sampled 36. So of the 36 that they sampled, Ursula, 19 that they found to be, something's up. Guess how many contracts total that there were at DCHS? 2,700. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again, y'all.
Yeah, so there could be a lot more. Yeah.
Wait, and they're batting over 500 on just the sample?
Yeah, and this is, again, a department that deals with more than $1 billion worth of taxpayer funds. I have zero faith. Zero. And the only reason this came up, I mean, you want to know the importance of journalism? This all came after a Seattle Times investigation revealed that a former county program manager allegedly directed more than $800,000 in payments to members of her own family before she was fired. So, and again, there were signs. And this was where, I believe this was where someone tried to say, hey, take a look, and then that person ended up getting in trouble. So there were signs and they were ignored. And why is that? Mm-hmm. And why was it important to give all that money? I think it was a lot of grandstanding because these are groups that you can say, look, hey, as a county, we're doing a lot for these marginalized groups. Mm-hmm. And so, one, I hold county government responsible and all the leaders, sorry about that, who were responsible at the time, starting with Dow Constantine. But, we talked about this during our morning show meeting, too. When you have all this money coming in and you know that you're not doing your part to live up to the promises you made to get that money, I think you also have an obligation to say, I can't meet these things instead of taking in more money, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
And what ends up happening is these legitimate groups that actually do great work now look bad because of these other ones that took advantage of this situation, which was horribly handled.
Great way to put that. And I want to ask you and anybody listening right now, have you ever been at your job and you gone into your employer and said, hey, I just realized something. You guys are giving me way too much money, right? Like, I think I should deserve this. You guys are giving me way too much money, so I would like to make a lesser salary. I'm bringing that up to say, for the groups out there that receive the money, sure, what they should do, the right thing to do, would be the right thing to do right by the money. But their responsibility, the money that has come from taxpayers, I'm looking at them like, yeah, you should have done that. But the real story should be on the people that signed the front of the check, not the back of the check, because the front of the check is why we are here right now. And again, imagine having 10 briefcases, 10, and you only sampled one briefcase, and you found that half of the situation that's going on in that briefcase, I got close, half of the situation in that briefcase is bad. And what you say, so I'm asking King County this.
Yes.
What would happen if we, the taxpayers, wanted to see what's going on in those other 9 briefcases?
No, we need to ask. And I'm sure Reagan Dunn is going to say, this audit needs to go even deeper. And quite frankly, I know that I believe it was Claudia Balducci who said, we need to look at all the programs that are getting large amounts of money. And the part where I differ with you, I agree that the biggest problem is that all this money was going out with zero guardrails, with zero accountability. But you brought up this, if your company is giving you this much money, the issue that I have is these groups were actually claiming that they were doing something that they were not doing.
I'm in the philanthropy world. I see this every day.
I know.
I see it. I just want to be. I want to be really crystal clear. I see this all the time. The thing is people only pay attention when it comes from the black and brown groups. There's other groups that do this on a consistent basis. Now I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to be nice about this topic, but let's be real. This has been happening since the beginning of time, where organizations are getting a whole bunch of money. As a matter of fact, there's some people that are able to pull out of a lawsuit to make sure you don't find out about any of the tax dealings. Don't be super upset about this one organization that's helping out these folks.
Is it just one? No, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
The same standards need to be applied to all.
Yeah, and there's a game that's being played, and that's the thing about this. That's what's happening when I'm 50 years old. I'm seeing how the game is played. The game is being played. It's always been played this way. And then people say, oh, I had no idea. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's 2,700 contracts that happened. We only sampled 36, but found 19. Okay, Claude, what's going to happen when you find the rest?
Yeah, exactly.
Gee, are you telling me some of the folks who are new to the game might not be as good at playing it, and they get caught real easy?
Well, I think what I'm hearing from you is that this has been happening. And we need to have the same kind of energy when it happens, regardless of who is behind the organization. And the fact that you say that you see this in the philanthropy world, quite frankly, sickens me.
Yeah.
Because, again, why pretend you are something that you are not to get money and to fleece the taxpayers? That's just...
I like how you use that word, fleeced. Well done there.
Well, it's like fleece and grift, okay? I mean, it feels like this is something we talk about way too often.
What's next?
Well, Seattle is wrapping up its homelessness response ahead of the World Cup. The city council just approved the final piece of Mayor Katie Wilson's plan to add 1,000 shelter beds in her first year, including 500 before FIFA arrives. The biggest change in all of this is that Seattle is increasing shelter size limits. So sites can now grow from 100 beds to 150. And one shelter in each district, each of the city districts, could expand eventually to 250 beds under a pilot program, which is going to start with Camp Second Chance in South Park. Councilmember Diane Foster has been spearheading this measure.
I have said this whole time, my underlying goal is to ensure that we pass this interim legislation and we have this first year of expansion in a way that is so successful that we are able to continue this expansion.
Supporters say these tiny house villages are one of the city's most effective tools because they give people stability and connect them to long-term housing and services. But gee, the actual debate that happened yesterday centered on safety, especially near schools. The council approved this amendment that required additional public safety plans and good neighbor agreements for shelters within 500 feet of schools. And supporters pointed out that there have been recent shootings and overdoses near schools. But I found it interesting. Homelessness providers were pushing back, saying many of those rules already exist. Thankfully, I will say that measure passed narrowly 5-4 and now heads to Mayor Wilson's desk.
Well, I don't want to go too long on this. I just want to just say good. Good that something's being done. We do need to have and provide more services and shelters, and hopefully the shelters and the services, they match each other, because we have shelters without the services. That could be a problem. There you go.
I like it. Okay, I like that you condensed it.
Why? Because I didn't want to get.
Yeah, well, I do want to point out one thing. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, because oftentimes we say, well, how come some neighborhoods don't get it? So one of the things that I do like is that they said so this is going to affect my neighborhood too. And I happen to be a believer in the tiny home villages as a interim step.
Yeah.
I would rather they be in a tiny home village where there is some kind of support and maybe they can connect to services versus keeping them out in the elements out in the streets with absolutely no shelter. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah. But these changes only last for a year. So if the city wants these larger shelters to continue after the World Cup, there would need to be more money and more permanent rules to all of this. Okay, well, speaking of Mayor Katie Wilson, she's doing something I want to say almost unheard of in modern politics. And I say almost for a reason, but she is admitting she got something wrong. So remember this right after she got elected and went out to a Starbucks worker rally?
That is why I am proud to join them on their picket line and proud to say loud and clear, I am not buying Starbucks and you should not either.
Or do you remember this doozy, G, after she was asked about the new millionaire tax and wealthy people leaving Washington?
I think the claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are like super overblown. And if, the ones that leave, like, bye.
So, G, after weeks of backlash over those comments, the mayor now admits in a New York Times interview that those comments probably caused more harm than good. And the only reason that this is coming to light is because Seattle Times columnist Danny Westnate noticed that admission in that article and wrote about it in his column. And in that article, the Times said the mayor understands that everything she says is going to be parsed for potential anti-business sound bites and that she should have a multi-dimensional relationship with Starbucks. So my question is, do you give her credit for the honesty now?
Yes, absolutely.
Or is it just purely damage control?
No, real quick. I just want to say, and we've had this happen, and we talked about this on our show, that more elected officials need to come out and, hey, you know what? It's okay when you mess up. Here on the Gee and Ursula Show, when we make a mistake about a fact, we'll come back the next segment and say, hey, we messed up.
Yep.
We made a mistake. So I think it is great, instead of doubling down, that the mayor, Katie Wilson, gets to say, hey, you know what? I messed up. That probably wasn't a good idea. But I do want to remind you, most people don't get to learn on the job, especially at this level. Most people don't get to run one of the biggest cities, one of the major players' cities in this country with a $9 billion budget. Most people don't get that mistake. So where my frustration is this, I'm okay with someone coming out and being like, you know what? I messed up. I apologize. My problem is the fact that she's even in this situation in the first place, because we know that she's literally learning on the job, and the stakes are high right now. Like I don't know if you guys know this, but if you were at your job right now, whatever it is you do for a living, would you want somebody working next to you that's literally learning on the job, especially when what you do is real intense and the situation is big? We talking about the city of Seattle, y'all. We have somebody in office who has never led people before. 1. 2, a $9 billion budget? If G. Scott, the radio host, has only managed $50,000 to $100,000 in his life, and y'all give me a job worth $90 billion, and my first day I said, hey, I ain't buying Starbucks, and neither should you. The hell?
I know. I managed the newsroom for, 8 years.
You could be mayor.
Could I be mayor?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think that I could be mayor.
You could be
I wouldn't
mayor.
even attempt.
There's some people that'll vote for you because you know why? Because people were so caught up in the slogans. Right? Slogans and being an activist.
Well, and the fact that Seattle just, with the exception of Greg Nichols, just does not vote in mayors more than once.
Didn't we start out this segment talking about the irresponsibility of handing people who have no business managing money a whole bunch of cash?
Yes.
It's like a theme here.
Yes. Now, I will give Mayor Wilson credit, though. She could have dug in her heels and said, nope, I'm just going to keep... like you did.
I gave her credit.
Yes, exactly. And I give her credit for that. This comes right after State Senator Jamie Peterson apologized to you, G, after his appearance on our show. And then people took that as, okay, well, everything's all good. We love the millionaire tax. No, I want to make it clear. It was just accept the apology.
I tell you what, I want to just talk about husband and wife type stuff. And hey, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey,
apologies
fellas.
go a long way.
Hey, fellas. Or even ladies. Sometimes it's okay to admit when you're wrong. You don't have to double down all the time. Because sometimes you got those folks in a relationship that ain't never wrong. Always. But this happened because...
I know.
Just nip it right there.
Yeah.
Right there. By the way, taking a day off got me fresh today. Got me fresh.
Okay, what's coming up next?
Oh, you already know. 9:47, we need to talk. Hey, Brady and all his friends, Gen Z, will never be able to buy a home because they paying for lunch and way too much money. So we talk about that 9:47.
That again?
Huh?
Last time I think I got my head bitten off.
Yeah, Nick was mad at you. Hey, but coming up next, one of America's most loved billionaires says half of Americans should pay federal income tax and half shouldn't. We're going to be talking about that next. Gee Ursula.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code SHOT to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Let's talk real here for a second, because summer is coming and Memorial Day weekend is here, so it's kind of like the unofficial start to the summer, and them kids about to be home all day. And guess what happens to that grocery bill? Woo, it goes up. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you could receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer. That's food in your cart and a little less pressure on the budget. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card might be already headed your way. But some families do need to apply, depending on income and where you live. So take a couple of minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for families this summer.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
The spring sales event continues at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville. We're also saying thank you to active duty military personnel and veterans with a special discount for qualifying military personnel. Save an extra $2,000 off MSRP on any new 2026 Chevy model. Just ask for details. Everyone saves with the spring lease deals. Get into a new all-wheel drive 2026 Chevy Trailblazer LT. Lease it for just $299 per month for 36 months with $3,499 cash or trade equity to its signing. Chevy, together, let's drive. Get in on the spring savings and check out the new location. Just down 33rd Avenue across Marine Drive. Stop by today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number TV 145465, $0 security deposit based on 10,000 miles per year. Credit score of 700 or higher may be required to qualify. See lease posting at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville or call 360-474-3503 for complete lease details. On approved credit factor rebates subject to change. Prices listed do not include taxes, title, or license. Subject to prior sales. See even details. Offer expires 6/126.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, we've cared for hens with healthy pastures and organic grains. That's why our eggs are nutritious and flavorful. Next time you shop, choose Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. A lot of questions are being asked about a fund the president has set up to help some of his allies. CBS's Nancy Cordes has more.
Bipartisan backlash is also growing over the nearly $1.8 billion the Justice Department set aside this week to pay people who feel they were unfairly prosecuted by the government. It's part of a government settlement with Trump that also now blocks all future IRS investigations into his past tax returns.
The acting U.S. Attorney General faced tough questions on Capitol Hill Tuesday over a new $1.8 billion fund. The anti-weaponization fund will compensate allies of President Trump who believe they are unfairly targeted politically by the Biden administration. Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray argues it's a merely taxpayer-based slush fund.
President Trump is literally using their tax dollars to set up a slush fund to enrich his own friends.
Democrats are urging a judge to block it. The Seattle City Council will discuss taking a one-year moratorium on a large-scale AI data center in the city. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports.
Up to 5 companies have approached Seattle City Light about the centers that would use several hundred megawatts of power. That huge tap on electricity would make rates go up, and Seattle City Light has submitted info to the mayor for review. It's not just electricity. A report from Seattle's Construction and Inspections Department says the centers could tap the water supply for cooling purposes. Right now, the city doesn't even have a definition for these data centers as far as land use permitting and zoning. So the bottom line, Seattle considering this one-year moratorium on applications to build these data centers and solidify. They also want to solidify what the definition of them would be.
Now to a troubling trend along Washington's coast. Researchers confirmed the 21st gray whale death of the year. According to the Cascadia Research Collective, the latest whale was found Friday in Willapa Bay. Dead whales have been discovered from Copalis Beach to Squim, and researchers say many appear malnourished. NOAA data shows a steep drop in gray whale calf births last year. A marine biologist says the 21 deaths already make this the third highest annual total on record. Meanwhile, a local artist is asking for the public's help after a thief stole her work and her father's ashes from a car in Tukwila. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Billy reports.
Georgia Bean says the truck was unsupervised for minutes, and in that time, someone unlocked the doors, took some paintings, all the prints, and the box.
At first, we didn't realize that the paintings were gone, too. We thought it was just the cash box. So I'm mourning my dad twice in a row. You know, he died, and then now he's been taken from me.
Bean's father died 3 years ago. She's kept the vial in the box ever since and calls it her travel dad. She found comfort in knowing he was with her every time she showed off her work.
Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. It's a slow crawl from South Center into downtown, about a 35-minute trip from South Center. It'll take you 50 minutes from Federal Way. Valley Freeway is about 40 minutes right now. Renton to Bellevue, half an hour. Over to the north end, Everett to Seattle will take you at least an hour right now. Everett to Bellevue, about an hour and 10. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio. And for your weather, we are cooler today than we were yesterday. Lots of clouds. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and coming up at 9:47.
Gen Z and them, they want to buy a home, but they keep paying $28 for lunch. How dare you pay $28 for lunch? So we're going to be talking about that.
But we're going to do it while choosing joy, too.
Back in my day, I packed peanut butter and jelly 5 days a week to go to work.
Okay, we need to talk about money because one of America's most outspoken billionaires says half of this country, half of the Americans should not pay federal taxes. But has he actually changed his mind on whether it's time to pay his fair share? So here is Amazon founder Jeff Bezos on CNBC.
Why is a nurse in Queens who makes some people talk about, making the tax system more progressive? How about we start by having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes? Why is somebody at all? Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes? That's $1,000 a month that could help with rent or groceries or anything. And so, and by the way, do you know what that all adds up to? The bottom half of income earners in this country pay only 3% of the taxes. It's only 3%. We can find 3%. So we don't have, it's a small amount of money for the government, that. And really, and the more I thought about it, to me, it's kind of absurd that we're doing this.
Okay, so I was thinking as I'm listening to that soundbite, I'm thinking, did he have a conversation with G?
He should have. Because I could have, Ursula, I could have helped my dog out. I figured, I realized something in taking my day off yesterday. I realized something. The reason why I don't get as mad and emotional as I used to is because I understand it way more. I see and understand the hypocrisy way more. Let me explain. Jeff Bezos says, quote, the nurse in Queens shouldn't pay federal taxes. You know what, Jeff? I agree. Because here's where you're not wrong. But you're also pointing to the wrong villain, Jeff. Because when that nurse pays the taxes, the federal income taxes, that federal income tax goes towards, watch this, subsidizing Jeff Bezos' own warehouse workers on SNAP and Medicaid in this country. So what ends up happening is that nurse in Queens that you pretend to care about is actually helping you out. Ursula, you always love numbers. Let me give it to you. Walmart was in the top 4 employers of SNAP, food stamps, if you want to call it, and Medicaid recipients in all 15 state agencies studied. Amazon was in the top 10 employers of federal aid recipients in at least 5 states and top SNAP employer in 6 of 9 states. Last point. Did y'all remember when Jeff Bezos paid $500 million for that super yacht? And then he paid $75 million for the mini yacht. Y'all ready for this? Both of those yachts were allowed to be written off on his taxes.
No.
You mean he didn't pay tax on them like when I buy a car?
Really?
He was able to write it off. And by the way, I know sometimes people don't like what I say. If you can text in and tell me that I am wrong about this, I will gladly come back in the next segment and be like, I'm wrong.
Okay. No, I know you're right because I know you looked into what happened. I looked into how much he has actually paid. Now, do you agree with his sentiment? Okay, let's remove the hypocrisy and how much is not being paid.
I started off by saying yes.
Yes. But if we shouldn't tax that nurse in Queens, should we be taxing him more? Let's see what he has to say about that. Hang on.
If people want me to pay more billions, then let's have that debate. But don't pretend, that's going to solve the problem. You could double the taxes I pay, and it's not going to help that teacher in Queens. I promise you.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what is, and the question is, because I looked into it, and it says, according to an analysis by Forbes, Bezos sold $13.6 billion worth of Amazon stock in 2024. So that triggered an estimated $2.7 billion in income taxes. I don't know how much was written off, blah, blah, blah. But there were years where Bezos bagged a lot of money. Bezos legally paid zero in federal income taxes in 2007 and 2011.
Ursula, you know what we forgot? I'm going to blame you.
What's that?
Because when you started off talking about Jeff Bezos,
Yes.
the guy, you didn't set the baseline up. Ursula, you've been doing this almost 38 years. You buried the lead.
Which is?
Jeff Bezos, according to Forbes, is worth $279 billion. Let me say that again, y'all.
You're just a hater.
Sure. He's worse. And by the way, that whole point that I made, that I saved, the smoking gun, as Ursula was saying, that $500 million yacht that he was able to write off, that $75 million yacht that he was able to write off. By the way, this lady did the study on this one. I apologize. I need to give her credit. Did you know that would cover $180 in school supplies from every teacher in America? Every teacher in America, just to write off on the $500 million and the $75 million that he was able to write off on his taxes.
Okay, and 469 gave us the first text message ever. Jeff Bezos writing off a yacht is not a Bezos problem. It's a tax code problem. And gee, you talk about the system all the time. You're about to fall off your chair. Rich people find creative ways to write off their toys.
That's creativity.
All the time.
Just creative.
Nailed it.
How many of you out there listening right now have creative ways of doing your accounting for your taxes? Because I don't.
She's raising his hand.
You've admitted it.
I don't either. We got hammered this last year.
Hammered. I do. And that's the thing. Because I understand and see how the game is being played, this is why I speak against the broken system. And by the way, Charlie this morning on SMN says, well, gee, how do you fix the system? You don't. You want the system to stay broken.
Well, who's you want? I mean, the system is broken in all sorts of places, and somehow my husband and I have not figured out, or
because you're not part of the 1%, and neither am I.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I talk about the system being broken, the 1% will continue.
I gotcha. The 1%, because we're paying taxes through our nose.
Could you imagine if the richest person in the world was able to have influence over an election?
Imagine. Okay, we're still choosing joy. Coming up in 9:47.
Oh, your
what
work
are
is
we
on
doing?
fire. Ernie said he needed me to be on fire today, and I am in a good way, choosing joy. Now, Brady and all his friends, Ursula, your kids, my kids, you want to know why they won't buy a home? Because they choose to pay $28 for lunch. And Kevin O'Leary has some smoke to say about it. That guy. We'll do it next. Gee Ursula.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
If you've been thinking about a new Subaru Outback, now is the time to head over to Carter Subaru. You know I drive a Subaru Outback, and we love this car. I've had it since 2016. It was purchased at Carter Subaru, and Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership. And right now they have over 800 Subarus in stock, including the 2026 Outback with 2.9% APR. Perfect for escaping town the second the sun comes out. And yes, we are promised that we're going to have some better weather here. We love our Subaru Outback, and my husband drives a Forester, which was also purchased at Carter Subaru. Why are we repeat customers? Because they know how to treat their customers right. They treat you like family. I also love the fact that Carter Subaru is invested in our community. Carter Subaru, you'll find them in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/26.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
A shot to center field. Julio is there, and Julio makes the catch!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house, even when there's not an actual seat, because you're in the T-Mobile pen.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
The pen isn't just the perfect space to hang with your whole crew. It's where you can see Julio defend the no-fly zone 1 minute and watch Senor Smoke get ready for his big entrance the next.
Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Sure, the pen is standing room only, but with a team this exciting, who wants to be sitting down? Mariners baseball. Try this up.
90s weekend is coming up as the Mariners take on the D-backs. The fun gets started May 29th with 90s Fireworks Night presented by T-Mobile. Then it's back-to-back giveaways with Julio Rodriguez sleeveless jerseys on May 30th and Ken Griffey Jr. pins on May 31st. Both presented by Key Bank. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, start treatment at Revive Washington and get a free comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Take control of your health today. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Coming up at 10 o'clock, King County Council member Reagan Dunn comes on to the show as he responds to the new report of criminal fraud, allegedly from organizations working under DCHS. He joins us at 10. But right now, Ursula, here's what we need to do. We need to talk. That's what we need to do. Kevin O'Leary Ursula, you knew exactly who was
yeah.
it. Mr. Wonderful himself.
He's just so annoying. Okay, let's just get real. He's the guy on what's that game? Shark Tank. Yeah, thank you. It's when it gets to him, I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, well, Kevin O'Leary hopped on the Diary of a CEO podcast and decided to say some things about Gen Z. His big complaint, Ursula, is that young folks making $70,000 a year are spending too much on lunch, and they're spending $28. Let me let you hear it for yourself.
And when I see kids that are making $70,000 a year spending $28 for lunch, I mean, that's just stupid. It's just, think about that in the context of that being put into an index and making 8 to 10% a year for the next 50 years.
Oh, that's rich. That's rich. And then the crazy thing is there's a lot, and you might be listening right now, and you might agree, like, hey, paying $28 for lunch is ridiculous every day. I tell you what, I'll play the game with you. I agree. $28 is a lot to pay for lunch. It's crazy that lunch.
For all of us to pay for lunch.
It's crazy that lunch is even $28.
Yeah.
But you know what? Ursula, again, these are the things that you love. You love facts. Let's talk about costs. In 1980, the median home price was $47,000 in 1980. Not too long ago. Not 400 years ago. Not too long ago. 1980. Today, Ursula, it's over $400,000 that's here in this country. And we all know King County is $859,000. That's 1,000% increase in just homes, where wages have gone up 300% since 1980. So I just want to say this. Ursula, you cannot peanut butter and jelly your way out of this inflation and this wage and cost problem. The math is just not good. And I also wanted to say that you would have to skip, Ursula, 714 lunches to cover 1 year of daycare for one baby.
Mm-hmm.
So your thoughts, Ursula?
Well, I think Kevin O'Leary is just one of many who throw out these comments knowing that it's clickbait. It's going to get us to talk about it. I mean, Kevin O'Leary suddenly has had a resurgence in his popularity, even though he is annoying as all get out. And it's just by denigrating a generation and saying the reason they have this problem is because they spend on frivolous things. Now, we did have a conversation a few weeks back where we were talking about, is it okay to have some of these splurges? Mm-hmm. And I think we all agreed that, yes, it's okay as long as it's within reason, right, and you're not overspending. But to try to characterize an entire generation of being lazy, of being unmotivated, of wanting only handouts, and then also only spending $28 on lunch is just lazy. It's a lazy characterization and a disservice for young people trying to come up.
Now, Ursula, Kevin O'Leary, you're right, he has been popular. But the thing is, and maybe he is doing it for clickbait, but the thing is, Ursula, there's a lot of people who agree. So I got something for the people that agree. You know, insulin right now in Canada, that's where I'm going this weekend, by the way. I'm going to pull up to Canada. You know, it's capped at, it costs $30. Down here, it's $300. So that little kid in Detroit with diabetes, yeah, a lot of times, sometimes you might have to ration medicine here in this country. Let's move on over to college, because I know everybody's like, oh, back in my day, college. Since 1980, college tuition has risen 1,200%.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Since 1980. But these millionaires want to blame a $28 lunch. Listen, the thing is Gen Z can't buy a house. Gen Z they got to work 2-3 jobs to be able to afford things. And if Gen Z wants to go pay $28 on a lunch, that's on them. Look, I'm not saying, oh, gee, I would do whatever you would do. Just recognize that in 1980 and back in the day, how easy it was compared to today, and how wages then do not catch up to wages now. That's all. Mm-hmm. Just show that. Now, I'm not buying $28 a lunch because, Ursula, Your dog is a cheapskate right now when it comes to the kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it.
What is your cap on lunch? Because if it's over $20, it better be darn good. And there was a time when it had to be under $10. And I remember moving here, and I sound old. I get it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up my teriyaki lunch again, where right down the street I could get a lunch for $5.99 special.
Everybody
$5.99 special just does not exist.
Ursula, everybody had their thing, right? And I know you guys go, gee, of course you would pay the. Do you know that I pride myself? This is myself. I pride myself on not eating lunch out.
I believe that. I see you bring your lunch. Yeah, I know you do.
That's my thing. That's kind of like my deal. Now, is that going to solve my financial situation? No, but that's just my little thing. And I get free coffee here. I get free coffee.
Okay, I'm going to call him out because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
John Curley the other day. John Curley came so early. Like, what are you doing here? You're here before even we were here. And he's like, well, he lives real close by during the week.
Yeah.
And so he came here because there was free coffee. And we have good coffee in this building.
I will say this, and let me give a shout out to, because I know people think that I hate on people that are rich. I don't hate on people that are rich. I hate on the system, that the hypocrisy centered behind that.
But and also denigrating those who are not in the same position.
Thank you. But I will say this about the rich folks. A lot of rich folks, when you start getting money, they are the masters that figure out how to save money in little areas.
There's a reason they're rich.
Like I would say that I would be more apt to buy a $28 lunch 15, 20 years ago than I would right now, if that makes sense. Anyways, probably doesn't. Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, King County Council member Reagan Dunn is going to join the show to talk about the new report of alleged criminal fraud from organizations working under DCHS. Next, Gee Ursula.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawlspace or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So Don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stop living with missing teeth. You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan.
En Estados Unidos estamos listos para abrir un nuevo capítulo.
Secretary of State Rubio posts a video speaking Spanish, blaming Cuba's government for the country's current woes. A U.S. blockade of fuel oil has triggered blackouts. And CBS's Christian Benavides reports the U.S. has just indicted Cuba's former leader, 94-year-old Raul Castro.
He's being indicted on charges related to Cuba's deadly 1996 shoot-down of planes operated by a humanitarian group, Brothers to the Rescue. Now, the group helped rescue Cubans at sea who were fleeing the communist island on rafts looking for freedom in Florida. They also participated in pro-democracy missions, such as dropping leaflets on the island.
The two police officers who helped defend the U.S. Capitol from the 2021 attack by Trump supporters are suing to block anyone, including rioters on January 6th, from receiving payouts from the new $1.8 billion settlement fund for Trump allies. CBS's Jake Rosen.
They're seeking to block the creation of this fund, reverse any transfer that has been made so far from the Department of Treasury to the DOJ to start implementing this fund, as well as put any future funds aside and out of play, blocking this from taking action.
Well, former Massachusetts Congressman Barney Frank has died at 86. He was colorful and at times contentious.
Regular order! Regular order! I ask the gentleman be seated.
Frank, a liberal Democrat who served 16 terms, will be remembered as a gay icon and for the Dodd-Frank law that set new regulations for banks and Wall Street. He told 60 Minutes.
I'm very proud of the fact I think we've shown with the last 2 years, and we will show going forward, that you can be a liberal Democrat and cooperate in creating the kind of climate that's good for business as well as for everybody else.
Well, fire officials in Southern California say no additional homes were destroyed overnight by that major wildfire outside Los Angeles. Improved weather conditions have helped fire crews make progress. This Ventura County resident, one of thousands of people who left their homes.
The flames were raging. It was really scary. It looked like, the fires of hell, actually.
A wildfire in northern Texas has burned more than 34,000 acres and has destroyed some homes. Wilson Cochran's house in Canyon, Texas is among them. He's trying to process what happened.
I've never gone through anything like this before. I'm retired from the Navy. I've been through combat, all of that. And this was something, I've never had everything taken from you at one time.
And checking Wall Street, the Dow is up more than 400 points. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning. This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Carol came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings. Advocates are warning of a trans refugee crisis hitting Seattle. But first, let's get a check on the roads. It's a slow crawl still from South Center into downtown, about 35-minute trip from South Center. It'll take you 50 minutes from Federal Way. Valley Freeway is about 40 minutes. Rented to Bellevue, 30 minutes. Everett to Seattle is about an hour. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Advocates are warning of a transgender refugee crisis hitting Seattle and pushing the city to declare a civil emergency. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery has more.
The warning from the Seattle LGBTQ Commission is dire, saying so many people are fleeing hostile conditions and new anti-trans laws in red states that community organizations are struggling to keep up. The hope is that a civil emergency from the city would unlock funding for things like housing and food. According to Hannah Craig at The Burner, there's now a rally planned for Saturday afternoon at 3 to try to pressure the city to act. Mayor Katie Wilson wrote a letter back saying the problem is real and the city's going to study how to help. The mayor did also say there are real budget limitations to grapple with. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
The rubber is starting to hit the road in the race to fulfill the mayor's vision to add 1,000 new shelter beds in Seattle by the end of the year. The city council passed new rules expanding tiny home village and safe lot capacity to 150 all over Seattle, with one shelter per council district allowed to swell up to 250 beds. Councilmember Maritza Rivera says this should be a first step.
With the resources, it is my hope to help them get treatment. I'm hoping that treatment will be a part of the mayor's plan.
This legislation is part of a sweeping effort to eliminate red tape and free up resources for emergency and transitional shelter. It's been 1 month since a local activist was killed in the Philippines. Crowds gathered to honor Kai Sorum yesterday.
Kai was our friend. She was a 26-year-old, really beloved community member and activist based in Seattle. She helped found a student organization called Anak Bayan, South Seattle.
Sorum was killed by Filipino troops last month. The government there claiming she was part of a terrorist organization. Now, groups here are pushing for an independent investigation into her death, arguing civilians were also killed by troops in that same attack.
That was KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas reporting. Stay out of Seattle's Green Lake. That's the warning from Seattle parks and public health officials after tests detected dangerous levels of toxic algae. People are urged not to swim or water ski and to keep pets away from the water. Fishing is still permitted, but officials say to clean the fish thoroughly and discard the guts. Avoid areas where the scum is if you're boating. And now for your forecast, it'll be mostly cloudy to start off our day, slowly turning to partly cloudy this afternoon. Highs will warm more compared to yesterday, reaching the upper 60s and even lower 70s in some spots. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Appreciate you all hanging out here on the show. By the way, still choosing joy. Just want to make sure. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. We're choosing joy and
getting to the bottom of things.
Exactly. And at 10:30, we're going to talk about the Mariners.
With joy.
With joy. We're going to try to find some optimism here, because when I heard my husband react to the latest game, I was like, why am I hearing this so often?
Yeah,
is it just me?
A lot.
Is it me, or am I dreaming, or is he having the same kind of reaction and the same kind of complaint?
Hey, Ursula.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, though.
Yes.
The last time you asked about a manager, it didn't go right. So.
I know, but things are all good now. Things are all good. Things are all good. Text us, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
So King County now says it might bring in law enforcement and the state auditor after investigators uncovered what they are calling likely fraud, waste, and abuse involving lots of taxpayer money. So we're talking about things like suspicious cash withdrawals, altered documents, family-linked payments, and county employees who allegedly saw all sorts of red flags but still approved that money anyway. So the question we have is, was this incompetence or was corruption hiding in plain sight? And joining us right now is King County Council member Reagan Dunn, who is joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Okay, I know you heard my question leading into your introduction. Maybe you can start right there. Was it incompetence, corruption, both? What was it?
Yeah, I think it's all of the things you said. I think there's a fair bit of incompetence. I think there is some clear corruption and fraud involved here. And some of it is a culture of sort of looking the other way within King County as well, which is maybe the most troubling for me. And so this is a forensic audit I've been calling for years now. I'm glad it's happened. I don't like the results, but the challenge now is to build it back and improve the system so people's tax dollars are being spent wisely and according to state law.
Councilmember Dunn, first of all, that background looks pretty good on you, good brother. So I just wanted to tell you that first. And the second thing is my man, look, it's been documented. You've been raising these concerns for a minute. I mean, I'm talking about 2023, 2024. I mean, Reagan Dunn has been saying it from the beginning. So I just want to know, when you were raising these concerns behind the scenes, what was the responses of your colleagues, and who owes you a phone call today?
Well, that's funny. I think the state auditor owes me a phone call, because one of the things that back in 2023, when I wrote the auditor to look at this exact issue, what happened was this new forensic audit and the ombuds are now saying they're going to report all this information to the state auditor. And had she engaged 3 years ago, we probably would have gotten saved a lot, maybe tens of millions of taxpayer dollars ultimately. But it took a little time to get my colleagues sort of on board. And you know, my approach to this is you can't rub their noses in it. You got to slowly bring them the information. And over time, finally, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I got a majority of the council to vote to support the audit. And that's really what got the ball rolling here. It will ultimately, as bad as it looks, yield reforms that will make the system better, is my sincere hope.
You had to work hard to get them to vote to get an audit?
Yeah, I did. You know, and you know how we talked about this. I'm in the political minority, right? You got a majority party, minority party, and they don't always want to look at their own folks or constituencies or whatever it is. And so in order to get there, you have to get the majority party to agree. And so what you do is, if you're in a position like I am, you just kind of keep working at it. I went to the independent elected state auditor, no result. I went to our county auditor twice. She said, well, look, go get your colleagues to support it. I went to my colleagues and worked them for a while, and finally we got the audit. So to my colleagues' credit, they came on board at a time that was helpful, and now we are looking at these ugly results. So where do we go from here?
Well, I want to get into where do we go from here, but I also want to understand how it happens, because one of the most alarming details to me was that there were county employees who allegedly saw this suspicious spending but approved it anyway. How does that happen?
Yeah, that is one of the problems. So we've got some financial problems, obviously, we have to deal with. But there are some problems within our ethics code that need to be fixed. And I've just recently proposed legislation to close those gaps. If there is an ethics problem or a conflict of interest, for example, dealing money to family members, those issues are going to need to be resolved before the money can go anywhere.
Yes.
They sent the money and then sort of decided whether they would resolve them later, and they never did. So that is how you've got to fix that problem. We got to tighten up the ethics codes. We got to follow best practices used across the country for administration of grants. Obviously, we need to purge some of the grant recipients who are not acting in good faith. That's important. And put the money into programs that actually are measured to be working effectively, which some aren't.
You were listening to King County Council member Reagan Dunn. You talked about being in the minority party. You were one of, I believe, 2 Republicans on the council. I want to ask, when you talk about the county's own internal investigations, should that be trusted at this point, given what we are seeing right now?
Yeah, well, the system broke down across the board. So your answer is not, it shouldn't entirely be trusted. And one of the reasons why I'm talking to you is the importance of the fourth estate and overseeing some of these things. So the minority party within a democracy is important. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat, what level of government, just it's good to have opposition to point out potential problems. It's also important to have the media. We had even some challenges with the auditor. And when that system breaks down, that's when you get a situation that's sort of ripe for the kind of corruption you're seeing here, this fraud, abuse of privilege, and that sort of thing. And that is why we have to fix the system across the board. So Councilmember Dabowski and Perry and others are working with me to sponsor this Inspector General which we are working on right now, formulating that, which somebody with subpoena power that can do investigations and look into this. We got to fix our ethics codes. We need the grant managers administration to follow best practices. We need to purge programs that aren't working. And then there's a few cases here where we actually need some prosecution.
Yes.
And in this forensic audit, they refer to some to law enforcement.
You're listening to the voice of King County Council Member Reagan Dunn here on the Gee and Ursula Show. And Council Member, earlier this morning I was talking about something because there's about 2,700 contracts in total at DCHS, right? So there is 2,700. But in this case, they only sampled 36 of those contracts. Of the 36, they found 19, Council Member Dunn. So if they just sampled 36, in your opinion, what would happen if they sampled, let's just say, another 500?
Yeah, I don't think you want to know the answer to that. I'm not sure anybody does. The truth is, they only audited 2%, to your point, right? And they found all these problems with 2%. If they go back and look at the other 98%, you're going to find a system that's rampant with fraud, waste, and abuse. And actually, if you look at national auditors, will tell you that depending on the size of government, you're going to always find a certain percentage of fraud within any grant. That shouldn't make people sleep well, by the way. What we need to do is fix the system, and there's going to be fraud, and I'm going to continue to hammer on it. But it's Pandora's box. So what I want to do is fix the ethics code, fix the Inspector General office, fix these grant programs, get rid of these bad actors, and we should adopt some more stringent rules. If your agency is corrupt in administering funds and you're complicit with it, you're off the board in terms of being able to receive a grant. And then finally, I would also make the point, to your point, that 2,700 grants. Look, we have the same number of grants as Los Angeles County has, and they're 5 times bigger than King County. We've got too many grants, and we're not in a position to manage those responsibly. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do is scale back the level of work we're contracting out, and instead keep that in-house to be done by actual government employees.
And I'm just going to apologize to our listeners right now. This is such an important topic that we're keeping Councilmember Dunn on, but our connection is not great. He's in Washington, D.C. He's outside of a building, and we're doing the best that we can. Councilmember, I have one brief question because of our technical issues. We're talking about potential criminal prosecution, but I want to know, and our listeners want to know, have any others been held accountable, for making these mistakes and being this reckless with taxpayer money? Like, who else is being held accountable?
A couple people have been fired, which is all so far. There really hasn't been any significant effort in prosecution, and so that needs to happen. And I challenge our prosecutor and our sheriff to pursue cases that are obviously cases of potential fraud and pursue those through the criminal justice process. So that part of it, the accountability part, is very important to building public trust back as well.
Councilmember Dunn, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, before we move on, and by the way, Ursula apologized. We want to apologize to you again. Yes, thank you, Councilmember Dunn, for coming on. You can see that technical difficulties. Sometimes you can't control that. Sometimes you might be talking to Lois on the phone and you just get into a bad area. It happens. But there was some important stuff that was just said. And so let's rehash that really quick, Ursula. Mm-hmm. And I got to say one thing that was so important that was said. Y'all, you remember y'all used to call G crazy because he kept saying the system was broken? Did you hear Councilmember Dunn actually say, it's a broken system? Because this is what I want to keep pointing out.
Yes.
Is the system that is designed. And to hear him.
Yes. Well, yes, you've pointed it out. And he also pointed out that there are people who are taking advantage of the system. And even with this broken system and people seeing the red flags, they still did nothing. And only a few people have been held accountable. So I say, go after those where you can get the criminal prosecutions. And yes, he also said, you asked the question,
about 2%.
What about the other? Yeah.
He said, just so you all know, there have been 36 sampled, 36 out of 2,700. So that's 2%. Of the 36, they found 19 to be sketchy at best. And I asked him, I said, hey, that's 2%. What do you think if they were to go and investigate more? And to which he said, I don't think we want to know the answer to that.
I think we do.
Yeah, we actually do. We actually do.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you guys think it's bad, it's way worse. And the problem that really gets me, and by the way, this isn't just Republicans, Democrats. This is a continuation of a system that this didn't just start 5 years ago.
No.
He had to beg, borrow, cheat, or steal to get them to even audit this.
Yes. And you know, the other thing, I know you bring up the broken system, and I always bring up that I think it's more healthy to have balanced government. And he brought that up where you cannot have one party, whether it's all Republican or all Democrat, and the importance of us in the fourth estate, where you have to have checks and balances. You absolutely have to have checks and balances. Otherwise, they're going to run roughshod.
The biggest, I want to say, so there might be someone that's like, okay, this is happening. Why is this happening? And I want to just give you guys a simple explanation as to why it happens. Well, in a bank, sometimes in order for maybe you come in and to get the savings deposit box, you got to go in there. And sometimes you need 2 keys. Sometimes you need like double, or you have a check that's really big that's written to both you and your significant other. And you get ready to go sign it like, yeah, but we kind of need your spouse's signature too. When you have unchecked things with no guardrails and you allow government, and this goes for Republican or Democrat, when you allow them to have access to all these funds and be able to do these things, this is what happens. Because the truth of the matter is, government does not usually get held accountable. Government, when they mess up funds and nearly $700,000 is missing, or $1 million here is missing, or thousands of dollars are missing, you know what happens? Ursula in Top Stories talks about it. This is what happened. And to which the government says, oh, we're going to do a better job, and we're going to put together a committee, and so what they do is they say things to make you feel better. I just want to let you guys know, this has been happening since the beginning of time, and it won't stop until these folks are not. No, but what's going to happen is there's still money involved. So there's people that make money off this stuff.
Yes.
In the back rooms, on the side. So until that stops.
Yeah. Well,
it won't stop.
Until they're held accountable. So only a couple of people have maybe been fired. What? And then the other thing is potential criminal prosecution. No, I mean, we're talking about, again, a department, in my opinion, as a King County taxpayer, I say no more yes votes for any money until there are proven safeguards and we have the full story as to what has happened here.
This was such a critical interview. And Gee, your point about the system, we see this operate in many ways, from a story we talked about last week about, a sergeant within the King County Sheriff's Office who was having an inferior or a subordinate employee approve his overtime, or we see it at the national level in a Pentagon that can't even produce an audit. They failed for years and years consistently. But a big issue I'm seeing is I don't understand exactly how the auditor's office works, because it should work like the IRS, in which it pays for itself. Because these audits should be happening consistently at all levels, right? You should have a sample audit level all of the time. And I was actually shocked to hear him say he wants to bring more of these things back into government instead of grants out, because there's so much good work that government does. But when we hear stories like this, it makes people lose faith in government as a whole.
Well, absolutely. And I think that the point was because they are so short-staffed and they got all this money, remember what was happening a few years ago, and got all these money for these programs, and everyone wanted to prove that they were doing something to help these vulnerable communities. There was just a big, huge amounts of money that went in without any sort of guardrails. And so it was contracted out. No one was paying attention. But 317 texted in and said, 2% sampling produced those horrible results. What recourse do taxpayers have for requesting 100% audit and coverage backed up by aggressive prosecutions, not potential prosecution? I feel exactly like that.
I'm still choosing joy.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay? I'm still choosing joy.
And the truth.
And the truth.
But before I leave this topic, I just want to give a reminder to this. I think that we can all agree, listening to Councilmember Dunn and talk about all this audit and all this stuff, it's maddening. But we will not get better about these topics until, watch this, the same way you're upset in this story about the Democrats who are in this situation, and rightfully so.
Yes.
You can't pick and choose this storyline.
Yes.
So make sure you keep that same energy.
Yes.
When you start talking about corruption.
Yeah, and what's going on the national level.
I'm choosing joy.
Yes, I know. We are choosing joy.
joy.
But look, I told everybody yesterday, look at what's happening. Look for yourself. Research.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can't be mad about this and not mad about that.
That's correct.
Both things can be true. Hey,
that's correct. We're talking about Mariners.
What's up with the Mariners? I thought we was choosing joy. How are we choosing joy?
Maybe Brady's going to help. Brady's like the most positive person today. Maybe Brady, who's running the board for Nick.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll help us with the Mariners.
Gee Ursula.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Auditing Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Healthcare workers in Congo say they are undertrained and underprotected amid the Ebola outbreak. CBS's Allison Keyes explains.
The head of the WHO says the Ebola outbreak poses a low risk globally, but
WHO assesses the risk of the epidemic as the high at the national and regional levels.
The WHO says a vaccine to address this rare version of the virus won't be available for at least 6 to 9 months. Burials are ongoing, and families who often wash the bodies of loved ones themselves are now watching healthcare workers disinfect and bury the dead. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
The World Health Organization says patient zero for the outbreak still has not been found. The Seattle City Council will discuss taking a 1-year moratorium on a large-scale AI data centers across the city. KIRO 7 TV's Ranjit Sinha reports.
Up to 5 companies have approached Seattle City Light about the centers that would use several hundred megawatts of power. That huge tap on electricity would make rates go up, and Seattle City Light has submitted info to the mayor for review. It's not just electricity. A report from Seattle's Construction and Inspections Department says the centers could tap the water supply for cooling purposes. Now, right now, the city doesn't even have a definition for these data centers as far as land use permitting and zoning. So the bottom line, Seattle considering this 1-year moratorium on applications to build these data centers and they also want to solidify what the definition of them would be.
The man accused of shooting and killing a beloved worker at the Growler Guys on Lake City Way pleaded not guilty. Q's brother was in the courtroom yesterday alongside more than a dozen other relatives and friends of the family. He tells KIRO 7 TV this.
I hope the law takes it in the right way and makes sure he's actually guilty, because it sucks. You can't shoot somebody and say you're not guilty.
Lucas Logan remains jailed on $2 million bail. His next hearing is set for June 11th. There's a bit of a turf war going on with pot shops in Snohomish County. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports people living in Clearview are pushing back against a new shop.
Many neighbors urging the county to adhere to a rule approved in 2023 calling for a 10,000-foot buffer zone between cannabis stores in rural areas. Patrick Gann, the owner of Hangar 420, was briefly open for business until an injunction forced a closure because of the buffer zone. Now he's pushing for the county to cut that buffer zone to 5,000 feet.
This issue is about whether government should be allowed to change rules behind closed doors in a way that benefits one existing operator while preventing fair competition everywhere else.
For now, this Hangar 420 spot stays closed because another pot shop, the Cushery, is just a mile down the road.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says interest in buying the Seattle Seahawks is not as weak as some reports suggest. Speaking about the pending sale, Goodell pushed back on claims the market is soft.
There have been some reports that I would say are not accurate with respect to the amount of interest. It's exactly the opposite. It's actually been tremendous interest in the team.
The estate of the late Paul Allen put the Hawks up for sale after the team's Super Bowl win. Any sale would need to be approved by 3 out of 4 of the league's owners. And Washington's unemployment rate ticked up again in April. Data from the Employment Security Department shows it rose 5.2% from 5.1% in March. The state lost an estimated 4,500 jobs last month, the 4th straight month of job losses. And for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, Renton to Bellevue about 30 minutes. Everett to Seattle will take you 1 hour. Everett to Bellevue is about 1 hour and 10 minutes right now. This traffic report is sponsored by KIRO News Radio. For your forecast, it'll be mostly cloudy to start the day, slowly turning to partly cloudy this afternoon, reaching the upper 60s, even lower 70s. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. I know we keep saying we're choosing joy, and so I'm with trepidation going to talk about the Mariners. Because at what point are we allowed to say that this Mariner season has been disappointing? And Brady, I need you to jump in too, well, along with Gee, because Gee, I'll be honest, I have not been watching the Mariners that closely. I judge based on what I hear my husband saying as he turns on the game and then just shakes his head. Because the M's are now under 500. They've got 23 and 27.
Yeah, it could be worse.
It could be worse.
It plays they just play in a terrible. The American League in total is terrible this year. It's like awful.
Oh,
so that helps.
Okay, so it would be worse otherwise, you're saying?
Yes, but I don't want to go first. I would rather Brady, who he works this stuff. You're following it, everything. Brady,
Yes.
What's up, man?
How we doing? It's been a while since I've been on your airwaves.
Yeah, I know.
All right, what's up with the Mariners?
I mean, where do you want me to start? Injuries, schedule. Okay.
They've lost 5 of 7. Twice in the last 3 games, they've managed 1 hit. Okay, what's happening?
Yeah, well, that hitting part is just terrible. I mean, we've been facing a lot of left-handed pitchers, and there's a couple bats in our lineup that we brought over this season that were meant to be very good hitters against left-handed pitchers, like Rob Refsnyder. He's been in the lineup all the time against these lefties. He's not really producing. That's just one guy in the lineup, and you put a lefty against a lefty. More often than not, the pitcher's going to win in that instance. But you wanted some positives because we're staying on the happy side, or however you guys said it. But we're not the Astros. The Astros suck. They're in last place. They have way more injuries than we do.
Okay, now I feel better. Okay. Okay.
I'll say this. Brendan Donovan, still coming back to being fully healthy.
Okay.
Cal Raleigh, he's on the IL, but he's going to come back fully healthy, and we're going to see the real Cal come back.
He's trying to
we
find joy.
just saw the emergence of Colt Emerson, who had his first hit, which was a 3-run home run the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He's had very few at-bats so far, so he's going to get ready to shine. You have a young second baseman in Cole Young. You got the dynamic duo there. Josh Naylor's still here. He's pounding the ball all over the place. 3-hit game the other night. The pitching has been solid outside of the back end of the bullpen. Starting pitching rotation, flawless, great. Back end bullpen, biggest issue.
So, Brady, are you saying it's too early to give up on this season?
Don't give up on the season. Not even close. I mean, other teams can have injuries that affect them even more than us. I'll say this. You don't start really judging a team until, I would say, halfway or 2/3 of the way through June.
Okay, fair. Now, let's get right to it. let's get to what's really being said right now. As you all know, last night was a loss that a lot of people were talking about, and it actually forced you to send an email late last night. And what happened last night when they lost to the Chicago White Sox is my man Bryce Miller was dealing, right? He was doing his thing. And by the way, you could tell Bryce Miller was not excited about coming out of that game. But he did. He came out the game. And then you had Luis Castillo come in and do his thing. Now, you know Luis Castillo been struggling this year. So he comes in, Ursula, he's the 7th inning, okay, does his thing. 8th inning, does his thing. And then instead of bringing the closer Munoz in, they kept Luis Castillo into the 9th, got Munoz in trouble, they lose the game. The problem right now, Ursula, is you got a lot of people that's starting to question the experience of the manager, Dan
Wilson.
Wilson.
That's what I was going to say. Is it fair to bring that up right now?
So here's my question to you. Let's make this simple for everybody. Would you rather, turn it to that, would you rather have a manager or boss that knows everything about the job, but you don't like them? Or have a manager or a boss that you love, really love, but they don't know the job that well?
Or don't get the results.
No, take that back. Because last year, if you guys remember, the Mariners went the furthest in franchise history with this manager.
Right.
So,
but was it because Cal Raleigh was having a record year that will probably never be repeated?
Maybe.
Or was it because of Dan Wilson's brilliance as a manager?
It happened.
And I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't know. But here's what I will say. It happened.
Yes.
But I'll go further and say this. When things are good and people don't know, it's one thing. But when things are bad and people don't know, that's another.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is most of us would rather have a boss that knows that you don't like.
You're raising your hand here.
You're raising your hand that you don't like them, but they know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
You're raising your hand. I'm not raising my hand just yet. Because when you hate a boss so badly, that could be so toxic that even your best players are not motivated.
I think maybe that's a poor metaphor because it's a boss that you don't know, because we don't know who a replacement for Dan Wilson is. And Ursula, I have to challenge you to, instead of raising your hand with the white flag, choose joy. I have to tell Matthew this all of the time. He plays baseball right now, and sometimes in the first inning he'll come to me and be like, "Dad, we're cooked. We're absolutely cooked. We're gonna lose so bad."
Yes.
And the season is still very short. So thank you, Brady, for reminding Ursula not to wonder whether the sky is falling in the month of May.
Well, and it is just May 20th, and I will defend myself and say I only posed the question. I didn't say I was ready. I was leaning on everybody who's watching this season much more closely.
I lied.
What's that?
I lied.
What did you lie about?
I lied about which boss I would like.
You want the person.
I want the one that I like.
Yeah.
Because there's a saying out there that people don't care how much you know until they find out how much you care.
Yeah, you have that as your
sure
exactly
is.
email.
So I lied. Give me the manager that I like. And I actually would argue one of the reasons why the Mariners did have the great season they did have last year, because opportunity came where, the bats, like you said, Cal Raleigh was doing well.
Yes.
And also, by the way, they love their manager.
Yeah, it's true. And John in Bremerton says, Gee and Ursula, the only people who are thinking the Mariners are bad this season or that the manager isn't doing a good job are those bandwagon fans. They weren't complaining last season about the manager. Plenty of teams came back to make the playoffs after the All-Star break. Bandwagon fans just need to go away.
They were complaining last year, too.
Yeah,
They're always complaining.
This is so true.
We're Seattle Mariner fans. We've never even been to the championship. We've never been to the World Series. We're going to complain about everything.
Isn't that the truth? Didn't we just talk about that in context of other things, too? It's the DNA. It's the Seattle DNA.
Heartbreak.
Yes, we will complain even though we've got it good. We're just going to keep complaining.
To end it on a positive note for you guys.
Yes.
A couple years ago, the Mariners went into the All-Star break 10 games ahead in our division. Ended the season not making the playoffs.
Right.
We might not be playing our best ball now, but we can turn around and still make the playoffs. There's still a very high
So
percent
much.
chance we can make it.
See, I love that. And what matters is what happens in the end, right? As long as it's not too deep of a hole. I think you're right.
Play the music. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the husbands that do everything they're supposed to do. They work hard. They bring home the money, all that kind of stuff, and she brings home the money too. But then she gets upset because he left the toilet seat up. Or he left the cap off the toothpaste or something. See?
Okay, wait.
People want to complain about everything.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because some things,
you can have both.
You got to appreciate the good stuff, though. Scenario.
I didn't like that analogy.
I know, I knew you didn't. Coming up next, scenarios.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This weekend is the unofficial start to summer, Memorial Day weekend. And I'm telling you, this summer, we'll have them kids. They're going to be home all day. And that grocery bill, it gets real. It grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. Now, if your family qualifies, you can receive $122 per child to spend on groceries this summer. That's food in your cart and a little less pressure on the budget. There's no catch. There's no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Simple. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be on the way. But some families need to apply, depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for families this summer.
Summer's right around the corner. Can you say World Series? I don't want to jinx anybody, and I don't want to jinx that heating system or cooling system that you have, but it could possibly out at home. So the best thing to do right now is to replace the system. You want it done right and done fast. Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Upgrade to a Lennox cooling system and get a new heating system free. Plus available utility rebates. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I looked something up the other day. I didn't even look it up. I said it in a room in my house.
Weekdays noon to 3.
And I have a smart device. And then for 3 days, everywhere, my phone, my computer at work, I see ads for that thing that I was mentioning. It was very specific.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
That's technology and AI being used to expand the reach of technology into every aspect of our lives. Everything.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with the government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey, Dad, have you heard the news from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services?
No, I haven't.
Eggs have climbed higher than ever on the new food pyramid, and that's great news for anyone who loves starting the day strong.
Well, at Wilcox Family Farms, we make it easy with our ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs. They're a delicious, protein-packed snack you can grab on the go, now ranked higher than ever.
Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. For 34 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, the 11 o'clock hour is coming up, and oh my goodness, it turns out that there are plenty of rich people who want to buy the Seahawks. We'll be talking about that next. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I've been grinding in finance at a major company for years with my focus on a big promotion. My dream job has just opened, and I'm ready. And this is my big break. But I'm not the only qualified candidate. The main competition happens to be my best friend, and she wants it. The problem is that she doesn't know that I want it, and I'm willing to do anything to make it happen. Well, we've always had a little friendly rivalry, but lately I found out that she's been working with everyone in the workplace to try and influence this promotion. Now, here's the thing. I got a little bit of dirt on her. I know that she has had an affair with one of the bosses, but nobody knows this. She knows I'm qualified for the job, but doesn't know how much I want it. And I'm sure she's going to get the gig because, well, I just think she's going to get the gig. I'll just leave it at that. So my dream job is right here in front of me, and I can get it, but if my competition wasn't here. So you know what I'm asking. Yes, it's my best friend. Yes, I kind of feel horrible, but there's a part of me that really, really wants to bring this up about the sexual relations that she's having with one of the bosses. What should I do?
This is a good one.
888-973-5476. Ursula, I ain't seen you make that look in a minute.
Oh,
by the way,
just went
that's
big.
the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, go ahead.
Oh, boy. Okay, it's like I need a minute to think about this. First of all, you say that's your best friend. She says you're her best friend.
Yeah.
I want to question whether you really are best friends if you are considering sabotaging her by revealing something that you know as a friend. Conversely, I question whether she considers you the best friend, but actually you said that she doesn't know that you're also going for the job. That's the other thing. I say put it out in the open. Hey, you've always had this friendly rivalry. Let her know I'm also really interested in the job. Period. Beyond that, don't go and then apply for it and let people know. But this conniving and trying to figure out how you're going to bring her down so you can get the job, I think goes too far.
Yeah. Buried in 253 nailed what I would say. And by the way, text in if you know what G would say to this. Barry nails it. It's 3 words. 3 words that I would say. But Ursula, I think you are definitely right. I'll go with you on that one. And I loved how you brought up the best friend. Because again, I just want to say, people, you got to do an audit. I've been telling you this. So some of the people that you think are your best friends might not be your best friend. Yeah. What do you got, Shell?
Well, first of all, I don't believe that you're best friends. And whatever friendship you have is already over. Mm. It's already over because there's no way that one of you gets the position and you maintain your friendship. The only way that you possibly maintain your friendship is if both of you don't get it. Mm. That is the only way. And here's the thing, like, generally I would say mind your own business. What?
Oh, that's my thing.
Oh, here.
Hey, Karen got it. Mind your business.
Yeah.
Bonnie got it.
Yes. Yeah, mind your own business.
Okay, but it's very easy to say if it's about somebody else, but if you are legitimately the best, you think you are legitimately the best qualified person for the position. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you feel like you can't pass up. You've been working honestly and hard for these whole years to get it. And somebody that you know could get the job because they're sleeping with the boss. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of the anonymous note.
I'm not.
I am. There's an anonymous note that goes to HR and says, I'm concerned about the hiring process in XYZ category because I happen to know that there's a personal relationship between one of the candidates and one of the hiring managers. You don't have to say who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to lay out the manager's name. But at least there's a question mark that goes in front of those bosses. HR is going to inform them, hey, we can't tell what's happening here and we can't investigate and figure it out. But be aware that in this process, some stuff could come out.
Well, okay, hold on. Because that's not the impression that I got, the way you characterized who this person is. If all those things were true, I could see potentially doing that. But in this letter, it sounded like she said, well, the other woman is also qualified for the job. So how could you prove
for the job
that, and it was a former boss, is this one of the bosses that is going to make the decision whether she gets the job or not?
Didn't say former, did it?
I'm not going to put out an anonymous letter to try to sabotage it. It's like, and I'm not necessarily going to say that the friendship is over if one of them gets the job or the only way it survives. I just question the friendship already.
Boom.
Ursula, well, if you don't get it, be ready to leave.
You started from that. One thing, this ain't your best friend.
No.
You don't value them for sure as a best friend. That's number one. Number two, there's a saying, and by the way, you guys texted and said, G would say, mind your business. That is where I'm at.
Well, no, two people back to back said, mind your business.
They sure did. So here's the thing. There's a saying, it's called, don't hate the player, hate the game. Even my worst enemies, and I got some, I would not do this to them. There's a thing called you got to have honor amongst thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't do that. You just look. You don't get the job. There's some stuff going on. Look, that's how it goes down. But just remember, in life, that can happen. Come back to you where somebody else gets you on some stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And what does it say that you would put that out there only if it's a matter of you getting the job or not?
Yeah. All right, we got to get out of here. Brady mad at us. Coming up next, we got more of the Gee and Ursula Show.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The U.S. has announced criminal charges against former Cuban President Raul Castro. CBS's Cammie McCormick with the latest.
The case relates to Castro's role in the 1996 shootdown of 2 planes operated by a Miami-based exile group, Brothers to the Rescue. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche made the announcement at a ceremony honoring those killed.
Today, we are announcing an indictment charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals.
Raul Castro is now 94 years old. There's no indication he'll be taken into U.S. custody anytime soon.
2 officers who defended the U.S. Capitol from rioters sue to block payouts from the Justice Department's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. CBS's Jake Rosen reports.
What the lawsuit seeks to do is claim that these 2 men are irreparably harmed by the creation of this fund because it rewards directly those people that assaulted them and other Capitol police officers. These men are going to have to prove that they truly were and are being harmed by the creation and distribution of these funds.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche defended the fund's creation during a congressional hearing yesterday. That's an Israeli cabinet minister who has sparked an international outcry over the treatment of activists from a Gaza flotilla that Israel intercepted, calling it a provocation. Reporter Linda Gradstein has more from Jerusalem.
National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir posted the video in which he is seen taunting the activists from the Gaza flotilla. As dozens of bound activists were filmed kneeling on the ground, Ben-Gvir waved a large Israeli flag and shouted in Hebrew, "Welcome to Israel. We are in charge here." The governments of Italy and Spain said they would summon the Israeli ambassadors there for a formal reprimand.
There is terror in Congo over the rapid spread of a rare type of Ebola, but health officials say it poses only a low global risk. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, says the Ebola numbers are already high and are expected to rise.
Beyond the confirmed cases, there are almost 600 suspected cases and 139 suspected deaths.
The virus spread undetected for weeks, and healthcare workers say they are underprotected and undertrained. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Southern California's Sandy Fire in Simi Valley reaches nearly 1,700 acres, with 15% containment and evacuation orders remain. According to this Ventura County resident,
you don't know. The wind starts blowing in our direction, and that's really what's so scary.
Stocks are up on...
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Seattle City Council approves larger tiny home villages, but first let's get a check on the roads. Renton to Bellevue, about 30 minutes right now. Over to the north end, Everett to Seattle will take you just under an hour. Everett to Bellevue is about 45 minutes right now. This track report is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Tiny house villages and safe lots in Seattle will soon be able to expand after a new measure passed by the City Council. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports.
The plan allows shelters all across the city to go from 100 to 150 beds and to 250 at select sites. This is part of the race to open 1,000 new beds by the end of this year. Councilmember Bob Kettle.
I always say housing first, yes, if it's a photo finish with wraparound services, because we do need to have those wraparound services, and we should be encouraging those wraparound services, that encouraging the decision calculus towards treatment.
This is a temporary plan, so the council will refine it and hear public comment to make it permanent. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Senator Maria Cantwell says Washington airports will share more than $82 million in new federal infrastructure grants. Major upgrades are going to SeaTac Airport and Payne Field. SeaTac gets $39.4 million to strengthen the South Concourse and expand the arrivals roadway to cut curbside backups. Payne Field receives $22.1 million. Cantwell says the projects will prepare both airports for growing passenger demand. Now to a heartbreaking theft in Tukwila that's left an artist desperate to recover her father's ashes. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bailey reports someone broke into a truck carrying Georgia Bean's paintings, prints, and a cash box containing her father's ashes.
Bean's father died 3 years ago. She's kept the vial in the box ever since and calls it her travel dad. She found comfort in knowing he was with her every time she showed off her work.
I didn't want him to miss a show. Like, he was my number one cheerleader.
And now she believes her art may be the most important lead in getting him back. She shared images of the paintings that were stolen. She believes whoever has them also has her father's remains.
A 12-year-old girl got a fire engine ride home after a tree climb didn't quite go as planned. South County Fire posted about it on Facebook. Just after 5 Monday evening, crews were called to the Maplewood Cooperative School in Edmonds. The girl had climbed about 20 feet up into a tree and could not get back down. Firefighters brought her safely to the ground. And a Seattle 13-year-old will compete in the Scribs National Spelling Bee next week. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has more.
Raven Amrine is a 7th grader at Hamilton International Middle School in Seattle. And according to the Spelling Bee's website, the 13-year-old has a lot of hobbies, like writing, playing electric guitar, and writing music.
The preliminary round starts Tuesday, and the final round begins on Thursday. Now to your KIRO News Radio weather. It'll be mostly cloudy, turning to partly cloudy this afternoon. Highs will be more warm, reaching the upper 60s and even lower 70s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to you. Is there anything on the show today that we have not covered that you just like, I can't believe that Gee and Ursula Show didn't talk about that? Text us and let us know what that is. Good morning, Ursula.
Yeah. Or is there something that you've noticed has been missing and you miss it? Text us about that, too. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Hey, coming up at 11:30, we do Agree to Disagree. And there was a story out of Edmonds where this 12-year-old girl was rescued from a tree after climbing 20 feet, as in they called the experts to bring her down. What would you have done in that situation?
Do kids still climb trees like we used to back in the day?
Some kids, if they're not tied to their phone.
I mean, that used to be the
thing?
That used to be the thing.
Yeah.
Climbing trees?
Yeah, I have a height issue. I am not one to. I never went through the climbing the tree phase.
Knock on wood. I never failed, but I had some partners that did.
Oh, that's
Not
a painful.
good.
That's a painful lesson to learn.
I don't suggest.
Okay, but text us again 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, so you know that the Seahawks officially went up for sale after the Super Bowl win, and there is already all sorts of speculation about whoever is going to be buying this team could become the most expensive owner in NFL history, or it would be the most expensive team, right? So you got to have some big bucks. But even though there are reports that interest in the Seahawks has been soft, because that came out too.
Right.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is now saying the exact opposite. He says there's actually been tremendous interest in buying the team. So potential buyers reportedly include billionaire tech investors, NBA owners, and even a minority owner of the rival 49ers. And while early speculation had the Seahawks selling for what are the prices that we're talking about now? Because I don't want to be wrong on this. Is it $11 billion?
Anywhere from $6 to $10 billion.
Okay, why am I up at $11 billion? Experts think that it would be closer to $9 billion, which compared to other teams, how does that compare?
Well, it'd be the highest. I mean, it's like everything, right? Like
say that like teriyaki, it just keeps going up.
What you do is it's just easy. You go and you see the last team that was purchased in the NFL, right? And you look that up and you see was the Washington Commanders. And I think they went for like maybe $6 billion or something like that. So you got to think that, okay, it's going to be a little bit more than that because it's like the going rate, like,
ESPN originally said that it could go for 10 to 11. Now they're looking at about 9.
9. Okay.
So either way, it's going to happen at some point. And you guys already know. I told you guys how billionaires move. They move like the G in lasagna. You already know.
Yes.
And so we'll find out when we find out.
Well, if you had to guess, and even though you work for the Seahawks, you have no insider information because as you've said repeatedly, with the G in lasagna, it's silent. If there is anyone being talked about, they're probably not amongst the short list of potential buyers.
Right.
When do you think we would hear? Like, do you think it's going to, when is there a deadline?
I don't think so, but I would think that we find out something by maybe the season. Right? So we know that the season opens up September 9th on a Wednesday against the New England Patriots. I would say, okay, again, I don't know anything.
Okay.
But I do know how sports works, meaning there's always in the sports world a dead time for news, right? So right now, we got baseball is going. We're not going to have All-Star break. We got the World Cup that's getting ready to happen.
That's right.
So it's going to be a lot of news. But then there's this dead time that happens. And that dead time is in between the All-Star game, All-Star break, and NFL training camp. During that time in sports, that's why they always have the list, the best this and the best that.
Yes.
So that's a slow time. Could you sneak it in during that time?
Well, that would give us something exciting to talk about. Hello.
Yeah, because then all the attention would be on that. You don't want to. Does that make sense?
Completely.
So if
it won't be overshadowed by other things.
It's kind of like our government and news or big companies when some news breaks. They always make sure that they do it on a Friday afternoon.
If it's negative.
It's negative.
Yes, you want to bury it over the weekend.
If it's positive, it's on a Monday.
That's correct. So it could have the most legs. I got gotcha. Okay, Sue in Tacoma did point out something that we haven't covered, and I do want to get your take on it. It came out yesterday, but it's about JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and the screw up on his award, the AP award from the NFL, and he was described as the best what?
Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, this comes on the same season where he's had this incredible season, and then that comedian
Drewski
just butchered his name. It just kept thinking it was funny when it wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
And then now he's like, what's up?
By the way, I like this whole new thing. If there's something that we didn't talk about that you want, a lot of you guys are texting. So
they're on it.
So here's the deal, Sue. I'm going to make this very simple. The NFL continues to embarrass JSN in public, but the NFL continues to also want to apologize in private. You see, the disrespect of the Drewski moment. Oh, hey, just want to let you know, JSN, we apologize. No, do that in public, but you didn't. Then the next one is when he got the Offensive Player of the Year award, right? This was down, he was down for the Super Bowl, so he could not attend. So what he did is he had a video made for the moment. Do you know that he sent the video to the NFL way in advance, like an acceptance video? Do you know they didn't even play the video? That's the second one, strike two. JSN, we're so sorry. Not a public apology, but a private one. And then now this comes, he sees it, and you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, are you serious?
And by the way, Jack he's not a complainer. He doesn't say anything. But this time he's like, okay, at this point, forget it. I don't want the award. Just put it in the record books.
Yes.
It's in the books.
And get it correct.
Yeah. And remember, this is the same NFL. Do you guys remember seeing the video of JSN where he dunks on the goalpost? Did you know? Watch this hypocrisy, y'all. Did you know the NFL fined him for that?
Oh, God.
And wait, whoa, I'm not done. They fined him for that. And guess what the NFL uses in their promos? The dunk that they fined him for. So the hypocrisy that the NFL does, it's real simple. Hey, Roger Goodell, NFL, you continue to disrespect a player from Seattle in public, but you try to apologize in private.
Which is so lame-o. So how does he take it? Because I know you guys are good friends, and you know his family really well. How does he take all this? I mean, at this point, he did a video, and we played some of the audio where he was like, okay, really?
By the way, he put that video.
Yeah.
The video that
with this award, which is like, why do you think they're disrespecting him? It seems like one time you can say, okay, that didn't know better. Two times, now three times.
I don't know the answer to that, but I'll throw this question to you, my friend. And I don't know the answer, but I want to ask you something.
Yeah. Is he young? Too young?
Would the NFL do this to Tom Brady? Would the NFL do this to Peyton Manning? I'm only asking.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Has it happened? Have they been dissed like that? Yeah, it feels like a lack of respect, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to him being as good as he is.
If he had the last name like Pete Buttigieg does, do you think they'd get it right?
I don't know. What's some other topics?
Okay, let's talk about So, thank you, Sue, for bringing that up. Okay, let's talk about pot shops and Snohomish County, which we never talk about. Snohomish County.
Shout out to Snohomish. Yes.
I know we need to do a better job about that. So, the county is about to decide whether rural pot shops should have more breathing room or whether that buffer should shrink to make way for more competition. And folks in Clearview are really heated about this.
Pot stores are not candy stores. Our Clearview community could not be clearer to our elected officials and county officers about our opposition to reducing the distance between pot stores in the CRC zone, which would allow Hangar 420 and any additional dispensaries into our community.
So KIRO 7 TV reports that residents are fighting to keep this 10,000-foot buffer zone between pot stores in rural areas. That rule was actually approved back in 2023, but the owner of a new pot shop called Hangar 420 wants the county to cut that distance in half to 5,000 feet so that he can open. The shop actually did briefly open earlier this year before being shut down because another marijuana store, the Cushery, already operates just about a mile away. So if you can follow, the owner of the Cushery says, this is not about crushing competition.
I told them that nobody can open. Most of them didn't believe me. And they looked themselves and they called me back up and they go, okay, we can't open. They followed the rules. I don't think that somebody should be rewarded for not following the rules. Patrick just opened up. He knew that it was not allowed.
Okay, meanwhile, Patrick, the owner of Hangar 420, says the county is basically protecting all those existing businesses, like the one owned by the guy who you just heard from competition by keeping this larger buffer in place.
Issues about whether government should be allowed to change rules behind closed doors in a way that benefits one existing operator while preventing fair competition everywhere else.
So you be the judge. What do you think about this? And then the second part of my question is, are pot shops basically no different than a grocery store or coffee stand at this point?
Well, the old saying, and some of you all know this saying. How's the saying go? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission sometimes. In this case, Ursula, let me just say this.
Oh, no.
First.
Uh-huh.
I agree with the buffer. I want to just let you guys know that first.
Keep it at 10,000.
I want you to keep it at 10,000. I agree. I don't want the weed shops stacked up next to schools. However, Ursula just said something a second ago, and, I've been doing my best to try to really show the hypocrisy on things and topics, so let's do that. Can we acknowledge that while, yes, we don't want the weed shop next to a school, but yet you can be going to get some cheese in the grocery store and little Billy and little Susie walks past the alcohol, the wine. Let's go
that's
back.
The hypocrisy you're
so
worried about.
let's go back to how it used to be. We used to have alcohol in alcohol stores, and then Costco paid for all the voting and all that stuff like that so they get it in-house. So I just want to do that. You can't have liquor next to the rotisserie chicken. You know what I'm saying? Inside the grocery store, and then clutch pearls about the weed shop being next door. So
well, and I don't even think in this case it's about the schools. Well, for some residents it is, but in this case it's one business after the other going, wait a minute, don't be encroaching on my business. Why are you getting so close to me? You follow the rules.
No. Yeah. I get the. By the way, everybody. Speaking of following the rules, y'all know how we pick and choose who follows the rules. Choose joy. But I want to get back. I want to get back to the regular topic. And here's my question, Ursula. You help me out with this.
Yes.
Are we gonna pick a lane? Because either we adults care about these decisions close to schools, or we don't. But these business owners are right. That this guy should not have done that and then trying to get the rules changed and get G to talk about the hypocrisy. This person was wrong. So if you really want to technically get down to it, the whole game of asking for forgiveness then permission was wrong here. And if I'm one of the weed shops, I'd be mad too.
So a couple things on this. He kind of has a point in this was newly created out of thin air. And the reason the Snohomish County Council did that is because they didn't want, State Route 9 and other places in unincorporated areas to be like this strip mall of pot shops, right?
Yes.
But 10,000 feet is also 2 miles. That is a vast amount of distance. And like you're pointing out with grocery stores, G, and liquor stores, there's a huge amount of hypocrisy here. Because how many smoke shops do you guys see on State Route 9 that are very, very close to each other, or on Highway 99 or wherever? Those places also sell drugs. They sell kratom there. They sell, by the way, I don't know if you're aware, there are these mushroom blends that they sell at these places that don't really contain mushrooms, but they've got things like Delta 8 or Delta 9 THC in them. They have research chemicals, synthetic cannabinoids, like all those smoke shops sell stuff that will get you completely messed up. And the whole pot shop, like, gosh, we don't want it looking bad. What about the kids? Come on.
So
you're already over the hill on that.
You're saying 10,000 feet is
that's a
too
ridiculous
much
amount of distance if you're going to allow them in your county.
I'm going to go with keep the buffer zone.
I'm with it too. And by the way, Ursula, I just love saying the weed.
I know. Yeah, what's up with that? You sound like you're on something.
I got a friend of mine that I always say, "Stay off the weed."
Oh, I got you. 425 texted in and said, "I've got 5 weed shops within a mile of my house in Everett. There are so many of them that the weed in many places is half price because of a price war as they're trying to run each other out of business." Well, at least that's what the shops told me. So I'm reveling it. But we don't need more of them, is what 425
don't buy
says.
it in unincorporated Snohomish County because you won't get good prices.
That soundbite you played of that lady that was upset about this.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a second.
What's her name?
Okay, I'm not going there.
I was just asking what her name was.
We stopped that back in 2023.
The first little part of that soundbite is quite precious.
Okay. I'm going to squeeze one more in.
Okay.
There is this basically a so-called trophy self-storage facility in Bellevue's Bell Red corridor off Northup Way that just sold for, get this, listen to this price tag, $50 million to a national investor group. And right now, the facility has a 93% occupancy rate, and it's because that area has been seeing a lot of growth, and there's a lot of money there. So this is the news from a Cushman & Wakefield press release. The company is one of the top 3 largest commercial real estate service firms in the world. But the question we have is when storage units in Bellevue are going for $50 million, do you listen to that or hear that and say, do we have a hoarding problem? Or is our housing just getting too small to hold what we need?
I know of a former NFL player about 15 years ago as they were getting ready to leave the game and retire. And, one of the things a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to get a restaurant. And like, no, you don't want to do that.
No.
So this person was told like right away, hey, get a storage unit. It is recession proof. Yes. Like literally, like people will pay for that, even if they don't have a place to stay.
For our generation.
For
our generation. Because I think the younger generation is just like, we don't want your stuff.
Right. So
just keep your stuff.
So Gen X and baby boomers, we will keep a book, a button, some magazines from years ago in the storage
shed.
Oh,
yeah. The biggest thing for my dad was books.
So when you have an opportunity, Ursula, to get a storage space in Bellevue's, not next to the weed shop, when you get one of those,
$50 million.
That's
got to be some serious storage.
Serious storage, and
yes.
And the people have no problem paying it every month.
And we have every year we have one last storage unit of my dad's. Now he's been passed since June of 2020.
Do you still have a storage unit?
One.
You still have one,
because we
Ursula?
believe it's the one that he told us had the most stuff that we want.
You haven't gone through it?
So we've been paying on it. Well, now my sister has been paying on it. We're going to split the cost, but yeah,
recession proof.
It's been years, and I know a lot of people can relate. A lot of people can relate right now.
Yeah. Okay, Ursula. Now at 11:47. By the way, I like that whole thing about what did we talk about that you wanted to talk about. That was actually pretty fun. A lot of you guys text in some good stuff. But up next, you know what time it is. It's time for Agree to Disagree. Next, Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes, the Jake and Spike Show.
I looked something up the other day. I didn't even look it up. I said it in a room in my house.
Weekdays noon to 3.
And I have a smart device. And then for 3 days, everywhere, my phone, my computer at work, I see ads for that thing that I was mentioning. It was very specific.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
That's technology and AI being used to expand the reach of technology into every aspect of our lives. Everything.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, start treatment at Revive Washington and get a free comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Take control of your health today. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
If you're a homeowner looking to replace your comfort system, there's only one call you need to make. That's to Home Comfort Alliance, especially right now. As a Carrier Factory authorized dealer, they meet the highest standards for training, installation, and customer satisfaction. John Curley here. Efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance matter. Right now, when you upgrade to a Carrier cooling system, you get a heating system free. And they make it so easy with a 60-second price estimator. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com now. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The Trump administration has announced criminal charges against former Cuba President Raul Castro. CBS's Kimmy McCormick reports.
Federal prosecutors have charged Castro with the 1996 downing of civilian planes operated by the Miami-based exile group Brothers to the Rescue. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
For nearly 30 years, the families of 4 murdered Americans have waited for justice.
The charges include murder. Raul Castro was defense minister at the time. He is now 94 years old.
Here in Washington, advocates say trans-identifying people are fleeing red states by the hundreds and landing in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports on a push to declare this as a civil crisis.
There's even a guide online for how to relocate to Seattle for people who feel alienated culturally or persecuted by laws like those that restrict gender-affirming care. Hannah Craig with the Burner Seattle reports there's going to be a rally Saturday afternoon at Cal Anderson Park to pressure the city to act. Community organizations say they're strained now, having helped people with basics like food and shelter, navigating assistance programs, and settling into the Northwest. Now they want the city to fund that effort, too. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
The man accused of shooting and killing a worker known as Q at the Lake City Tap Room pleaded not guilty in court Tuesday. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has more.
Friends and family of Kusa Mergarsa packed the courtroom to see the man prosecutors say pulled the trigger. The victim's family's heartbroken. Mergarsa's older brother told KIRO 7 additional family flew in from around the world to support their mother.
I hope the law takes it in the right way and make sure he's actually guilty, because it sucks. You can't shoot somebody and say you're not guilty.
Lucas Logan turned himself in nearly 72 hours after the murder at the Growler Guys Tap Room along Lake City Way.
A judge kept his bail at $2 million. His next hearing is June 11th. Washington's economy continued to cool in April. Employment Security Department reports the unemployment rate rose to 5.2%, up from 5.1% in March. Employers cut 4,500 jobs last month, with construction taking the biggest hit. And if you bought an electric kettle at Costco, check the label. More than 1,100 Zwig Infinity kettles are under recall. This comes after reports that the handle can detach, causing hot water to spill. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says at least one person suffered second-degree burns. The recall covers several kettle models sold at Costco and Home Goods between 2019 and early this year. Now for your traffic. It'll be, or rather, your weather. It'll be mostly cloudy to start the day, turning closely to partly cloudy this afternoon, and we've got more warm temperature coming up. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34, and you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. How on earth did we already get to this part of the morning? It's like we're almost done with the show. I feel this is crazy.
I was just about to say that too.
Right?
I looked up and it said 11:33 a second ago, and I said,
"What?
Whoa!"
I know.
It felt like we just started.
Yes.
It's lunch o'clock. Y'all know it's lunch o'clock.
What's on the menu? The same.
Oh, no. I got some stuffed bell peppers at the crib.
Nice.
Ground turkey in there and all the little dealings up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Healthy. Sounds good. Okay, it's time for us to agree to disagree, though. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
So we're just talking about the Mariners in the 10:30 hour, and there can be some upside to watching a struggling sports team. When you have thousands of people in the stands who aren't exactly entertained by the product on the field, they make up their own entertainment. So, little history, and then we'll get into the present. So, in the early 80s, when the Seahawks were not that good, and they still had this young, enthusiastic fan base, those fans created the wave. It became a national sensation, and now you see it in stadiums all around the world.
Can we stop there just for a second? I was today years old finding out that started in Seattle with the Seahawks. I kid you not.
Like today? Seriously?
She's reading copy earlier.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I just found that out.
Why did I not know that? I found out when I first moved here. But when I found out, I was like, what?
From this town?
Here? Like, yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a new way that fans are expressing themselves en masse. It's called Tarps Off, and it's officially hit T-Mobile Park and the Mariners last night. So fans in right field started ripping off their shirts, swinging them over to their heads, and chanting player names. And apparently this all started in St. Louis with this club baseball team, and now it's spreading across MLB. Eventually, there were hundreds of stands that went all the way up to the upper deck, and so it's just, this giant group of shirtless dudes going nuts up there. The players, they seemed like they were pretty into it. Randy Arozarena, he's tipping his cap, to the crowds. The social media team for the Mariners jumped on. You see the videos all over.
Yeah.
But some people aren't really happy with it. They call this, tarps off thing like, oh, it's obscene and it's crude and whatever. Gee, is this cool fan momentum? Or is it yuck?
Gee, your look.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm going to walk both sides.
I am going to walk both sides.
Oh, wait a minute.
But
that's my territory.
Why do you think I went to Gee first?
You ain't lying. But okay, first, I want to throw myself under the bus first. Back in the day, I never listened to radio, but the first talk radio show that I ever listened to, and I used to make sure to listen to it all the time, was Tom Likas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I would always, and my favorite was Fridays, and he used to do Flash Fridays, right?
Oh, yes.
By the way, it's Friday, but y'all know me in the S.
Yeah.
So I'm saying when I was younger, a little juvenile, that I was loved the fact that it was Flash Friday, and people knew that was people on the road. Now here I am today, older, don't want to poo-poo on the fun of Brady and his friends. This shouldn't be happening because we're going to see a lot of folks taking off their tarps.
I love how you think this is what I would be doing at a game.
I mean, at your age, I used to. But anyway, I would. So I'm saying I walk both sides by telling you that, yes, I used to like stuff like this, but today I don't think it's a good idea.
50-year-old G is not into it.
50-year-old Jill is not into
G, you
it.
Party pooper. I say go for it. Okay, and I also want to make a quick correction because a bunch of people are texting in.
They said Husky Stadium started?
And in fact, they are correct. They are correct because on Halloween of 1981, during a game against Stanford at Husky Stadium, former UW cheerleader Rob Weller and band director Bill Bissell orchestrated the first modern side-to-side wave.
Today years old.
G and I both have our hands up. I always thought it was the Seahawks.
Okay, so there we go. And just also, I love that we just said, yep, got it wrong. It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
Ursula, don't read that.
You'll never hear anybody.
I might look bad.
Nobody on these airwaves will say they got it wrong. Go ahead.
The Seahawks later did adopt the tradition at the Kingdome as it spread across professional sports.
We had people texting in who say they were there at that game in 1981.
Okay, and by the way,
Ursula, so
here's my position on it.
Take the tarps off?
Yes. You know what? I mean,
for the eye candy or the enthusiasm?
The enthusiasm. Because people are just desperate for connection. Now, I can see where it could be problematic because if women are like, oh, to heck with it, I'm taking my tarp off too. Well, how far does it go? So it could be problematic.
This is a slippery slope. We might end up with hundreds of topless ladies.
I'm okay to take that risk, is what I'm saying. I say connect with everybody. Look,
I don't want to connect with anyone who has their shirt off.
Brady is nodding his head.
Can we write this down?
Yes, why?
On this day,
I choose
May
joy.
20th, 2026, two people on the show.
Yes.
Ursula says, yes, take the tarps off.
Yes.
G says no. What the heck is going on?
I'm saying no.
Because you became an old man at 50, apparently.
Look, I don't want to be around anyone with their shirt off unless it's at the pool or at the beach. I'm sorry. I don't want, the seats are very close together. And I don't want to be close to, your hairy belly sweat.
Okay.
So, thank you. Keep your shirt on in public.
Has any harm been done by, I saw, if you all don't know what this looks like.
Have you ever had someone brush against you at a stadium? I have. I don't want them to not be wearing a shirt.
We have Husky Stadium seats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alec in Pierce County wins today.
Okay, what did
Alec, you win. Just put your phone away. You win.
He said, Alex says the Denny Blaine Park issue established that everyone can be topless, right? Yes.
You win.
Yes. As a matter of
You
fact.
win.
But you go to Denny Blaine Park knowing that's what you're going to deal with. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rubbing up against big sweaty dudes.
Okay.
That's what you go to the cuff for.
Do you see anybody rubbing their bodies against each other in the picture that's in the Seattle Times right now?
They're jumping together rather boisterously.
We're going to post this picture, and then I probably will be, Brady and I will probably be in the minority. Let's post it on the Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page.
Okay,
How's
well,
that?
I'll post it later.
An informal poll.
Do you participate in the wave, Ursula?
Yes, I absolutely do.
Gee, do you participate in the wave?
I do not.
I do not either.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you guys are party poopers.
I will say this. Ursula endorsed it.
I did.
So if you do take your tarp off at a game, please
blame me.
Please send that in to the Gee and Ursula Show text line 888-973-5476, and we'd love to see it.
Todd and Burien, you are mean. Todd, wait, I lost it.
The first
text message.
The first time that Ursula is not the prude.
Correct. I'm changing. She turned 50, I turned 60. I'm changing my ways.
Ursula's very sex positive. I mean,
I actually am.
Yeah, no shame.
No body shaming.
Does anybody judge me that back in the day I would listen to Tom Leykis? And by the way, it was filthy.
I was also a 14-year-old boy at one point.
Tom Leykis was filthy. And that was
Friday. Tom Leykis, I was thinking about someone else. No, yeah.
Tom Leykis, I used to listen to Flash Friday was a thing, and there used to be people, not ever put in the people. Matter of fact, Robin
that
Piala
whole Last Dance thing too on another station.
Right.
Ew. Now I wasn't registering Tom Leykis. No.
Oh yeah, it was bad. So, but I was admitting. And then people used to put things in the back of their car, Robin Piala, to let people know that they're participating in Flash Friday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's creepy. But you know what? I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the manosphere back in the day might have actually been relatively harmless compared to what it's become now, because that was the original manosphere show.
All right. Wait. Are you tops
by
off?
the way, here's Brady.
I mean, I'm not going to stop you from taking your top off. I'm not taking mine.
There you go. You're choosing to let other people have their fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to until you start affecting the on-field product. I'm not going to stop you.
Yes. What they're doing is just finding a new way to connect, bringing joy. We need more.
I want to see if that's going to come to Seahawks games. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity
No, I
Medical
don't want to
Clinic?
do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explain this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula, it didn't make it to the text messages, and I'll let you read the text messages, but some of these text messages that's coming in, like Matt in Ravensdale, I mean, this dude made a picture of me and Lillian and sent it to me. And
are you tarps off?
I'm tarps off.
In the picture.
and he took exactly what I was wearing at the Marriott, me and Lillian, and he was able to have me take my shirt off and Lillian looking over to me the side like this.
Is it safe to put on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page so we can all enjoy?
Yeah, it actually would be pretty funny.
No, we need to do that.
It's pretty funny.
Because I want to continue the conversation. How do you feel about tarps off?
Matt, you win, bro. You win. Okay. Matt and Ravensdale. All right, what you got, Ursula?
Well, we started the show with some serious meat and potatoes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
19 out of 36 DCHS programs in King County may have been criminally fraudulent. And that is the allegation right now, but it doesn't look good. And if you didn't hear the conversation with King County Councilman Reagan Dunn, you had asked him, G, about the additional, because this is only 2% of what was checked. Out of, how many programs was it?
2,700. And only 36 got checked.
And the answer that gave me chills was, you don't want to know the answer to that. You probably don't want to know the answer to that, and that is beyond disappointing. That's infuriating. But Laura in Paulsbo says, termination is not resolution for holding people accountable. Criminal prosecution and full restitution is the beginning of holding people accountable for this. And how about a refund or credit to the taxpayers whose money was stolen? In any system, a minimum of 10% is routinely audited. In this case, only 2% were audited, and of that 2%, 50% were fraudulent. Please continue to follow this story. Otherwise, we know what happens, which is nothing.
More than 50%.
Laura and Paulsbo was following that whole thing to the T.
Yes. And I will just say that for the last couple of months, we've been kind of on a roll on this, getting the people who can do something on the show. Yeah. Some people who may be partly to blame for some of this. Also talking about things that are going to change in the days ahead. Yeah. But we will stay on it. Go ahead.
Kevin O'Leary says Gen Z, Brady and his friends can't buy homes because people making $70,000 a year are buying $28 lunches. JVL in Puyallup says, man, sometimes rich people can be the worst.
And then there was Robin Puyallup who says, in 1988, the value meal was introduced to McDonald's and was under $3. Today, that same meal is $15.
Jeff Bezos says half of Americans shouldn't pay federal taxes, and he shouldn't pay more either. Jay in Port Townsend says, I worked for Amazon for almost a decade and made $11.50 an hour in a California warehouse, and we were on SNAP. I remember when it became a $1 trillion market cap company. I also watched Bezos go from a nerd to Lex Luthor. While I don't disagree with what he's saying, there's no way he doesn't see some way to net a benefit.
That's a good one. Seattle City Council votes to increase shelter capacity and the number of tiny home villages in the city. 253 says tiny home villages are great. They are one of the best interventions that we have in our homeless services portfolio, but they are not designed for everyone to succeed in. Individuals who are chronically homeless or dealing with substance use and or severe mental health issues are often being set up for failure by simply placing them into a tiny home environment. Unfortunately, after working in this field for years, I've seen firsthand what can happen when this population is placed into tiny homes without the proper level of support and structure. Do some research. This is when problems like fires and other dangerous situations can happen. And I don't doubt what you say, and I think that's absolutely right. And so all those things need to happen.
Yeah, agree. Ursula, it's time for your words to live by. What you got?
And this is based on the whole thing about the wave, doing the wave, tarps off, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a quote from George Shaw, who says, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Age is only a number.
Yeah,
Can't stop having fun.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Ursula, here's why I love today's show. I love today's show and the most recent shows we've been doing because we're getting close. And what I mean we're getting close is that we're getting close to where I think people really care about seeing money mismanaged. They really care about fraud happening, or they really care because we're watching the working class struggle every day. Meanwhile, we are seeing on the news where people are getting rich. I mean, rich. And so what I'm saying is, we don't agree on a lot of things, but Ursula, we getting close. We getting close to people seeing it. All right, Ursula, appreciate you.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again tomorrow. Yep, I'll be here tomorrow, by the way. Thanks, Chef. Appreciate you. Hey, Brady, thanks, man.
Always a pleasure to come hang out with y'all for 3 hours.
Are you here with us tomorrow?
I don't believe so, unfortunately, no.
Okay. The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Summer's right around the corner. Can you say World Series? I don't want to jinx anybody, and I don't want to jinx that heating system or cooling system that you have, but it could possibly out at home. So the best thing to do right now is to replace the system. You want it done right and done fast. Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Upgrade to a Lennox cooling system and get a new heating system free. Plus available utility rebates. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Sully here, and you know I've talked to a lot of businesses over the years, but the folks at Buc-ee's, they're the real deal. For over 50 years, they've treated neighbors like family with honest pricing, expert service, and repairs done right, guaranteed. They've also earned a Carfax Preferred designation. That means you get detailed updates, service reminders, and your full repair history right at your fingertips. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing. Visit Buc-ee's.com today and drive with confidence.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco bill, and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hartley Wilcox here. For over 100 years, my family has been committed to doing what's right. We believe food should be honest and wholesome. At Wilcox Farms, that starts with caring for our hens. They roam healthy pastures and enjoy a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. Why does that matter? Because what hens eat determines the quality of the eggs you eat. Our nature-first approach means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for your family's health. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs. You're supporting a farm that values animal welfare, sustainability, and community. It's real nutrition, real care, and real value. So next time you're at the egg case, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
Your best source for local news.